Peace, peace, you guys. I'm the real Connie, and this is Married to the Miles. This is another segment of Woman to Woman, and our topic that we're gonna have this time is about comparison. All right, so when we did our last live feed, I made mention that I wanted to come over here and talk to you guys about um, how comparison kills. So oftentimes it's easy to come out here as a trucker, a newbie, getting into team trucking as a female and seeing other people out here doing it. It's very easy to look at what someone else is doing and compare yourself to them. Not only compare yourself, but compare your journey to theirs. And I would caution against it. First off, we're all individually unique people, and none of us are traveling the same path. I don't care if you go to the same trucking school, you go to the same trucking business, if you do the exact same steps that someone else took, or if you take the exact same steps someone else took to get where you're trying to go. Um, it doesn't matter. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to be the same because you're different. Comparison and comparing ourselves to other people, it stops our momentum. It starts to have us looking at someone else with the eye of either you kind of want what they have, or maybe I should be doing what they're doing, or maybe I need to follow how they do it. And I just would caution against that. I would say that it's always good to be inspired and encouraged and motivated and gain momentum by looking at what other people do and learning, gaining wisdom and knowledge, information, of course. But your journey is your journey. And oftentimes, when we're looking at other people, we don't get a chance to, first of all, appreciate what we have, where we're at in the moment, because we're trying to keep up. It can feel like you're trying to keep up with what someone else is doing. So I would caution against that, just to be careful, because comparison steals your joy. There's always going to be somebody that's ahead. There's always somebody that's been doing it longer than you, that maybe they have more experience than you. Maybe they have perfected something that you're trying to perfect. Maybe they have been out here trucking and they have made it seem so easy, or maybe their trucking experience seems to have flowed very good, and you want to try to follow that pathway. I'm not saying I caution against that. I just caution against comparison. Always look at other people and what they're doing as something to glean from, but not something to compare. And the reason why I say that is because comparing is like saying, well, this is what I should be. And I think that if we take an approach, instead of saying this is what I should be, it could be something like, possibly this is I like the way they've done it, so maybe this is a route that I would like to take, or maybe experience it that way, or I may try to um somewhat follow that pathway, but in the same token, I'm going to enjoy my journey. I'm going to enjoy what I have. I thought about this because I think about teaming in couples, wives, husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends, fiancés, um, uh, uh, couples, however you're teaming with people that you know, don't know, however. In a teaming experience, a lot of times it depends on the two people. This person is one way, this person is this way, and nobody is the same. And you're already stepping into a situation with teaming, that you're joining yourself with your spouse or your mate together. You got to learn that. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure that out for yourself. You got to figure out how to make that work. You got to figure out how to make that unify. And if you start to compare what you got going on to somebody else's, that's going down a spiral that you don't, it's not good. It's just not good, because you have not done what they've done. Your life is not their life. You're not them. They're not you. So it's good to really work on not comparing yourself. A good example of that too is me and Mo been married now for 12 years. I think this year will be 13 years. Yes. Sorry about that, y'all. That's Chase. Chasey over there. She be busy, y'all. All right, so me and Mo been married for 12 years and we've been together for 14 years. And we do things the way we do them. When we come on here and show up and share our journey and we share what we're our experiences as a team or in trucking, in our life, in our marriage, however we do it, we're sharing it so that someone can see it's possible. So someone can see that this is that you're able to do it. We want to encourage people and let you know that if we can do it, you can do it. But this is not for someone to look and say, "Oh, I should be doing it exactly the way Mo and Connie's doing it," because you're not Mo, and you're not me. So I would encourage anybody listening to this, women especially, since this is who I'm targeting, do not come out here comparing your life, your journey, what you do to anybody else's. You're unique. God made you and He threw away that whole DNA. There's nobody out here that's like you. There's not another Connie out here. There's not another you. And it steals your joy. It steals your joy. It steals your creativity. It steals your originality. It steals your authenticity. It steals your ability to appreciate who you are, what you're doing, where you're at, and where you are presently. So and I want to re-emphasize this. This is not about saying, okay, well, when you look at somebody, what's wrong that you wanted to mimic or possibly follow a journey or possibly do it the way they do it. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But even in that, you want to make sure that you personalize it to what works for you, what is best for you. I remember um, when I first started doing hair, for those of you who don't know or new people who are on here, before I came became a trucker, I had my own hair salon doing natural hair. And I remember stepping out at around 30 years old to really pursue my dream wholeheartedly of doing hair. And I stepped into a salon at that time that I was older than most of the women that was in there, except for the owner. And they were innovative and creative. They knew all the latest styles. They knew how to do everything that I really didn't know. Um, but then I was coming in with something unique on my own because I had styles and creativity, and I was innovative, but I had a different way. It was Connie's way. It was my way. And I remember comparing myself to these girls. I started to compare how quickly they got their hair, their clients out, how good they were, how experienced they were, the styles that they were doing, and I started to feel like I was less. You know what I'm saying? I started to question my abilities, my creativity. And I remember coming home and I was telling Mo, I said, I wonder if I made a mistake. Maybe I stepped out a little premature. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to come out here like this, because these girls, they good. They on it. They know what the women want. They know about everything. And I never forget, Mo has always been a really huge inspiration for me doing what I love to do. And especially at that time. And I remember when I came home and told him, he said these words to me. He said, look, get your mind off of what they doing. Stop focusing on what they're doing good and focus on what you're doing good. Because the people that want Connie and what Connie does is going to show up and sit in your chair. They're going to come specifically asking for you because nobody does what you do like you do it. And man, I was all in tears and everything, and I was so empowered and so encouraged. And I went back the next day, and I took that with me, and I never let it leave me, even to this day. It's one of the very reasons why I love my husband, because he's always encouraged me to be me and to be great at it. And I remember going back to the salon and I just began to be confident in my stuff. And I learned from them. You know, I shadowed them and I watched them and I still gained knowledge from them and I still followed some of what they was doing. But I took it and then I put my spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gave it my sauce. I didn't try to do it like them exactly how they did it. I did me with the knowledge that I gained from them. And I can remember I started to build my clientele. And all these women started coming in asking specifically for me because they like what I do. And that is the point that I'm making about comparison. Right now, to all the women who are on here that's coming into team trucking, you are about to engage into a journey that's specifically yours. It's not like anybody else's. It's not going to be like anybody else's. I don't care if you go to the same company, if you drive the same truck, if you started at the same time, if you've been married the same amount of years, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be like anybody else's because it's specifically for you, your journey. And I would advise you to enjoy it as best you can because you and your teammate, y'all are out here figuring things out together. And if it steals away from your experience when you constantly looking at what somebody else is doing. Gain knowledge, get wisdom, learn from people, be inspired, be motivated, get momentum, but be you and continue to do that. I just really wanted to share this because I think a lot of times we can get so inspired by what we see other people do that at some point, well, let me just speak for me. I've gotten so inspired and excited about what somebody else was doing. I was like, oh, I can do that, or I can do it like that, or I might go that route. And oftentimes when I did that, it was a big flop because it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you trip yourself up. I say this to my children a lot. Because when I was raising my kids and I was younger, I had 4 children by the time I was 22. And I can remember, my friends were a little more advanced than me because they where they were in their life. So some of them had graduated college, some of them was already married, some of them had homes they were buying and sweet cars and things like that. And that was not my story. That was not where I was in my life. And I can remember the feeling of every time someone would come and tell me something about what was great and going on in their life, that little, that I was minimizing where I was and what I had going on in my life, that after a while, I didn't feel like I was doing anything great. I just was trying to do what they was doing. And I remember telling my kids, like, don't compare yourself to what somebody else's journey is. Because first of all, you don't know what they went through. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they had to do. You don't know the sacrifices. You don't know the struggle. You don't know the hardships. You don't know if they had trauma. You don't know what they sacrificed. You don't know. You have no idea what a person's life is and what their background is. So don't compare yourself to it. Just be you. Just be you. Be encouraged. Get the wisdom. Get the knowledge. Gain what you need to gain from the people that's out here sharing wisdom in any type of way. But stay true to who you are. Stop comparing yourself to what somebody else is doing. It's going to stop you. It's going to hinder you. It's going to keep you from being great like you are. I hope this video has really helped somebody. I went way longer than I said I was going to go, but I really just wanted to come over here and share this. I just feel it in my spirit. Just be you. You know what I'm saying? Just be you. And don't compare. It steals your joy, for real. It steals away from this present moment that you're in right this minute. Okay? Also, ladies, I did a live feed today on my personal page. I don't know who follows me over there, but my IG is the_real_Connie_. I did a live feed today talking about um, having courage and progress in uncertainties can coexist. I mean, you can have both. You can progress and you can be uncertain at the same time, and that we just need courage in our life to show up. So, follow me over there. Follow Married to the Miles on IG at Married to the Miles. My husband at Mo804. And I hope y'all come back to see another woman to woman with me. And we get to chop it up like this again. Y'all have a good day and talk to you soon. Peace.